Hello and welcome back to Drawn's Diary. Today is day 4, no gamble. And as I mentioned in a previous video, today is going to be one of the most difficult days I've ever had. My mother and father have come down to London. They drove 2 hours to come and see me and to talk about, my issues that I've got. And it's been such a deep conversation. I've never really spoke to them properly about it, and we've really gone through it and addressed it. They've asked all the questions they had to ask. They obviously assumed the worst, and we spoke through it. And the main thing that I had to get across to them was, I suppose the infrastructure I've got now to ensure that it doesn't happen again, and why I've got to this stage, and address those issues head on. Because gambling for me, it's that escapism. It's that place where I go to just switch off from the world. The money is completely irrelevant. The gamble, all I'm trying to do is escape to somewhere, and that's what I've been trying to do to deal with my own issues, which I need to tackle face on, head first, and really dig deep to ensure that these things do not happen again. So we spoke in a nice Costa Cafe, went through stuff. My dad had asked all the questions that he needed to ask. He kind of, I suppose, led the conversation. Mum didn't say too much, but she chipped in now and then. But I think she just had to hear from me what's been going on, the financial situation that I've got, how I'm planning to address that, which is obviously be a step change in a debt management plan to sort all the creditors in a monthly fee which I can afford. And what I needed to do financially was address my way of living and be real with what I can afford each month. Like I'm on a decent wage for my age, got a very good job, and that money will go a long way if I use it correctly. Without gambling, it's going to go a long way, and I can live and pay the bills I need to pay and pay the debts each day at a time. What feels different this time is that I feel right now that I'm absolutely flying. I feel I've got, the weight has been lifted off my shoulders just by talking to them, by talking to someone. It's become easier and easier. For me, these diaries is something that I'm going to look back on, and hopefully it'll be something that people will see like, God, I'm going through that, and they can, relate to it, and it might help someone come out their shell, which I hope it does. There's been a lot of interesting comments, some good, some bad. Everything is taken on board. At the end of the day, I will not stop doing these videos, because these videos are helping me. At the end of the day, that's what I'm trying to achieve. I'm trying to achieve to get on the road to success once again. One thing I wanted to chat about was telling your work. That can be a really difficult thing. And if it wasn't for my boss being so supportive and so understanding, I probably wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have a job, and I'd be in a really fucking shit position. But luckily, she really understood, and she really gave me the guidance and the support that I needed, which allowed me to make them first steps, to contact my landlord, to contact Step Change, to contact my mum and dad. And that's what's led me to this situation. I feel incredibly blessed. I know some people have no one that they can talk to, so I feel very fortunate in that sense. And I'm well aware of the YouTube community, but everyone goes through stuff in their life, no matter what it is. And for me, gambling was that one thing that I used to escape and to not deal with my problems head on. Whereas now, when something arises, I need to deal with it correctly. I've eliminated the time, money, and place when it comes to gambling. I can't gamble online. I can't gamble at any of the local bookies anywhere near me. So that's the first thing that I did. The money side of things, my mum has all my online banking. She's going to deal with all of that, which is great. It's another stress off my head. And I just need to figure out what I actually need in life to get through, and kind of how to address these situations. The main thing I'm really going to indulge in is the gym and self-improvement. That is one thing I'm really fascinated by, and how can I become a better person? Because right now I've been lying, I've been deceitful, dishonest, all things I've done to fund my gambling habit, which that's not who I am. I know that's not who I am. As the oldest child, I've been the one that's kind of fled the nest and kind of led it by example. And my parents had no idea. And it's a big shock for them. I'm just so fortunate that I didn't get upset, because if I'd have got upset when I was telling them, I know mum and dad was willing to break down at any moment. So you have to be strong, and open and honesty is the absolute key. You know, people always expect the worst, so when they hear the truth, it's probably not as bad as what they expected. Or if it is, you know, they'll deal with it and they'll realise where you're at. It's important to be honest with yourself. And right now I feel the furthest thing in the world away from a bet. I feel so far away from that point that, you know, it just makes me sick thinking about it, thinking about a machine or thinking about a ball spin, thinking about a horse, or anything to do with it. Just makes me feel ill right now. And I'm so glad that I've come to this point where I'm able to accept and able to move on. You know, what's gone is gone. That's not coming back. And the only thing that can change is myself. You know, in 10 years' time, there'll be no credit history, there will be no debt on my name. If I keep to my plan, there's going to be none of that. It's all going to go away, and I'm going to be able to rebuild. It's not going to be easy. I'm well aware that it's not going to be easy. And it's a day at a time. A day at a time. Just get through today. Didn't gamble today. Brilliant. Tomorrow, didn't get through, didn't gamble. Brilliant. Keep going a day at a time. And before you know it, it's going to be the 30 days, then on to 90 days, then to a year, and then so on and so on and so on. But what I'm going to do is continue to keep this diary, to document what's going on, and just for my own reference, to see how I've developed and how I've changed as a person, because I know this experience is going to change me for the good. And I'm going to do it not just for myself, but for my family. I owe it to everyone and all those around me that supported me over the years. You know I can beat this. I've come through similar circumstances in my life when things are thrown up. I've got through it, and that's what I'm going to do. Right now I just need to focus on myself and focus on getting better. People say, there's various comments yesterday saying gambling's not an illness, it's kind of, you're addicted to that feeling, and I don't know if I agree with that. I personally believe it's an illness. I believe it's something that is so deep in your mind, it almost becomes like, it's like heroin to, a heroin user. That's how it becomes. And for me, it gets to the point where it's not about the money. Every single time I've been in the bookies as of late, I've been thousands of pounds up, and I'll continue until every single penny's gone. Don't matter if I'm thousands up, thousands, doesn't matter. It's all just tokens to me. Bet again, I can bet again, I can bet again. And now I'm out of that circle. Have been for 4 days, which seems like a lifetime already. And I'm well aware I'm only ever one bet away from being back in that. So that's what's in my head right now. I heard a great quote recently, was to be successful, you need to change. You need to be willing at any moment to change who you are for what you'll become. And that's what's really sticking in my head at the minute, to be able at any moment to change who you are for who you'll become. That's kind of the quote that I've got in my head, and that's what's continuously looping in my head. But right now, I'm gonna go prep some food, have a chilled night, and get ready for work tomorrow, ready to dive in. I'm about to do some amazing events at work, and I really want to prove my boss right. And yeah, if anyone's got any questions, fire away. And hopefully see you tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to try and do a video each day. Sometimes it won't be possible, but I'm hoping I'll be able to. Alright guys, take care, stay safe, and remember, be responsible.